Welcome back, lads and ladettes, to episode 49. 49
here, man. I can't believe we're here.
Dude, we're one away from half a century. Like, wow.
I know. Dude, we are... The 50 bomb is fast approaching. I'm so excited. Like, I know we always say big things are coming, but like, we have a big one planned for episode 52. Like, we're flying here. Like, I'm actually just so pumped. But episode 49, we gotta live day by day. You can't be looking ahead to the future. So here we are right now, episode 49. What we were calling this one, the Rich Peverly episode, because he was number 49 on the Bruins, right?
Yeah.
Like, I searched for so long trying to find guys who were number 49, and like I couldn't find anything. Like, nobody I knew. It was all these old time players, and people are like, oh, this guy's like a Hall of Famer in football or a Hall of Famer in the MLB, but like I still never even heard the guy's name. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to use these. And then as soon as you hopped on, you're like, Rich Peverly, like bang, Rich Peverly. And I'm like, you know what? Like,
well, he died, dude. The guy literally died on the bench. Like,
I know, and that's what
for all those non-sports fans out there listening to this episode, we need some context because you're probably sitting there like, who the hell is Rich Peverly?
Yeah.
Basically, this guy was an NHL hockey player, and I think he had cardiac arrest, like on the bench during a game, and had to be brought back to life.
Yeah.
Similar to Lads and Lawnchairs, how we were brought back to life after our 2-year hiatus. I mean, Rich wasn't gone for 2 years, but probably felt like that for him. I don't know.
People thought we were down and out, and that was the end, and they were wrong. They were wrong. We came back back strong. Yeah, we came back ready to go, man.
So yeah, I'm excited. Like Philly, like you were saying though, like we got. I hate being like big things coming. Actually, I don't hate it.
No, you don't. You love it.
I love it. But it's annoying, I'm sure, to the listeners. But we actually, episode 50 will blow your minds. And let's just say, listening to the Lads and Launchers podcast has become a lot more fruitful to the listener. There's a lot more things that you can take away from listening to the pod, and it's only going to get better. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. You are in for one hell of a ride.
Yeah.
Next Monday, I guess, after the next episode after this one comes out.
I feel like every episode is just such a ride. Like I think back to like where we started and how we like the journey we took, and just like I just think about that first episode, and we had like sheets of paper printed for everybody that was sitting down. And I was like, from this minute to this minute we're talking about this, and then this minute to this minute we're talking about that, and we had like bullet points and stuff. You and I sit down for this episode, and we texted like a little bit before the show, and we're like trying to figure like what we're going to talk about or whatever. And we got some ideas, but sometimes we throw in a doc and just like write brief bullet points and stuff. And I'm just sitting here thinking about this episode, and I love it. Like, I have no problem with it, but we didn't even write anything down. Like, we're literally just flying off the dome here.
For those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, I'm literally in my like Sunday best. Like, I literally got dressed up. I had a date earlier this afternoon, so I was out and about and just like bumping around, ripping around Kitchener. Like had a couple of drinks, and I was just hanging out like in Uptown. And then you text me when you want to record. I'm like, well, I'm out right now. I'll probably be back at 5:30. 5:30 comes around. I literally wake up from like the toughest power nap of all time. I just like skyrocket awake. I'm like, wow, okay, like, I'm ready to go. Podcast. Text you, or you had missed call. And I'm like, I text you back, and I'm like, all right, man, like I'm on my way home now. Whenever you're ready, you go. I'm just like eating dinner. I'll be on after that. And you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I hop on the computer, link gets sent, and we get right into it. Like, zero prep, zero, like, it just, what do you want to talk about? Oh, I think this would be fun.
Yeah, like, let's just roll. Yeah, and you're wearing your Sunday best, and I'm wearing a UNC Michael Jordan jersey.
Yeah, bro.
I traded a Randy Moss Vikings jersey that I found at Value Village for this jersey, too. Like, I was in first year, and one of my buddies was like, yo, like, how much for that Moss jersey? And he was wearing this jersey, and I was like, you give me that, and I'll give you this. And he's like, done deal. He just hands me the Jordan jersey. I hand him the Moss, and we'll shake hands, and we're on our way.
What a good deal. Have you seen those, like, the bartering system? Like, well, there was the show on TV, Barter Kings, where they would always just, like, I remember watching one episode. Well, I'm sure you know what bartering is. You just, like, just basically trading, like, goods and services. Like, there's a girl on TikTok who goes, like, paperclip to a house or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's one, I don't know how, like, I'm sure there are some leads or some help, but in the show Barter Kings, he goes like, oh, I want to get my daughter a pony for her like 14th birthday. So he starts off with like something ridiculous. It's like, I don't know, a fucking marker. Okay. And he trades that up, and at the end of the episode, it's like, surprise, I got you a pony. And like, he just trots this thing out. Like, he started with nothing and just ended up with a horse.
Started from the bottom, man. We need to try that. Like maybe I just need to do that with my everyday life. Like I'm like right now I'm looking at buying myself like my first car. So I'm trying to get a truck. So like maybe I'll just like go and start trading this pen. Like I'll trade this pen for something with somebody down the street, and then I'll move my way up, and next thing you know I'll be driving a new truck. Like maybe we have to try it.
Dude, I got a pair of like nice Bose headphones here, and I'm pretty sure the girl on TikTok traded her Bose headphones for like a new like unboxed MacBook Pro. Or like it was like a new like, so I'm like, man, like I feel like I got some valuable shit kicking around.
Yeah.
I'm not disclosing my address because people are gonna fucking come for my things, but like I feel like I have some valuable or things of value that I would be able to get. I don't know. I feel like I underestimate my own barter power here.
Yeah.
I think I could do a lot of damage.
Let's do this. So I got this iPhone XR. Let's call it like a plastic silicone type phone case. If anyone wants to trade with me, just hit me up and we'll get it started. We'll get the chain started here. I don't need this phone case. Yeah. So I've got my own phone case on here that I use regularly. This one's just been kicking around for like a year now. If anyone wants to trade, hit me up. I got an iPhone XR phone case. We'll get the train started and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So did I like honestly? Yeah. Phone case. Whoever needs a phone case, it's a good looking one. You can go on the YouTube and fact check.
Yeah, it's slick. Check us out on YouTube to see it.
I want to know, like, so when you exchange jerseys with this guy though at the party, like your first ever barter deal.
Yeah.
Was it at a party? Was it like just friends hanging out? Like, did you just like literally take the shirts off each other's backs and be like, "Oh, here you go"? Were there people around? Like, I'm confused. Like the setting.
Okay, so it was a pre for a party. And it was like one of my buddies. Like he was one of my boys. Like it wasn't just like some random guy. Yeah. He had been in our room a bunch of times, and in first year I had all my jerseys hanging up on the wall above my bed. Yeah. So he like had seen the stuff before and seen my jerseys, and then I guess he said like he liked it and he's seen it before. And he came in that day and we were just standing there talking, and he's wearing this jersey because we're getting I think we're going to like a jersey party, so I was wearing a different one.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he just looked at me and he's like, we're preying in my room, so there's like probably 10-15 people in my room. And he goes, "Yeah, how much for that jersey?" And we literally like right then and there, he just took his shirt off and like took off the jersey, just handed it to me. Yeah. And I just took it off the wall and gave it to him, and literally took it as he gave it to me and just hung it on the hook and just put it on my wall. It's just like that.
That's unreal.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, like I think that well, one, like those little get-togethers are like I feel like more crucial than ever, especially given like I don't know. There's a bar in Waterloo called the Pub on King, and apparently the line on last Tuesday was like around the corner.
Okay.
And people are still going inside to like drink and like I'm like, hey, it's just not a good look. I would never do that. Yeah. So I mean, like get-togethers with friends at your house, like that's sick. But one thing I wanted to kind of ask you. Well, okay, first, before I'm just super excited. I'm all over the map here because I'm excited to drink with the boys. I always am. Yeah. But even more so this year because it's more quaint little friend get-togethers, which obviously everybody loves. And I have the nicest university house, man. Like I am so excited. Like, I want to get on like a virtual tour or something. But I got like my massive ass room down here. Reed's room is just down the hall. I got the kitchen. Upstairs, we're like just a middle class fancy. We got like we have genuine paintings on the walls of just like flowers and like
we had that in my house at school too. I feel like we had a very similar situation.
Yeah, so we just had real like family art that we found from Value Village, and then we got like nice couches, like a TV wall mount, like movie posters. Like it just looks like such a nice house. And because like everybody that comes over is like, oh, this is so homey. Yeah. 2 kitchens, like big backyard with like a little cool patio furniture set. So we're all drinking out there. Everyone's like, oh, this is so homey. So what my roommates want to do is because Big Yellow, our house, is so homey, we want to go around and then like take little photographs of us, like just like hanging out and like whatever, and get like a frame set and have those little like square pictures going down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Get like a little framed picture of like one of the roommates' graduation photos. Just have like family portraits just around the house.
I back that.
Sprinkled around. I think that'd be like unreal, man. I think that'd be so funny.
That would be actually hilarious. But it's kind of funny that you mentioned that though about like the small like get-togethers, because I feel like this summer of all summers was so like the times that we're living in right now are so interesting and so strange. Like I nobody could have ever predicted this would have gone on, and then even like I feel like 20 30 years down the road, like we're gonna be looking back on this and being like, wow, like I can't believe that shit happened. We lived through that. And like this summer was I feel I look back on the last couple summers and you come home and you're, especially for me, because I was going back to university at the end of the summer, all I'm thinking is like I'm trying to maximize my time with like family and friends and going and seeing like all these different people and doing all these different things while I'm home and like trying to get it all done before I leave again and like go back. And like you'd be going to bars, patios, like everything that you could think of the whole time, like going out, playing this, playing that, right?
Yeah.
And this summer was such like a small, like quiet, like I was talking with my friend about it, like it's such a small, quiet summer of just hanging out with like people that you're close with and like spending time with your family and like actually sitting around and doing the things you enjoy doing and focusing on like that kind of stuff. It was nice to not have all the stress of like, I have to go here, I have to go there, I have to go to the bar and spend this much money. It's kind of cool to just sit around and go to somebody's backyard and sit by a fire and drink with like 5, 6 other people. Like,
yeah, it's like these are people I genuinely care about. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like I'm not trying to like, and I feel like as like older university students too, it gets to a point where it's like you're kind of just over the bar scene. Like you there's only so many times you can go to the same bar in your university town, and like I'm sure it's obviously a good time when you do go, but it's like I'm comfortable not going out every night. Like I'm more than happy to stay home with the buddies and do whatever. But one thing I wanted to ask you was, in your little small get-togethers, there are a lot of drinking games out there.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that you can do to, I guess, enjoy alcohol more enjoyably.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to know what your go-to drinking games are, or maybe we can get a ranking of the top 5 drinking games. And obviously, if you have a big party, keep in mind it's got to keep people engaged. It's got to be fun. It's got to be like there's different factors involved on the rating scale.
Okay, so there's like a couple different ones, and they go around in some different settings. So I'll explain like the one I'm thinking of, and this one was recently introduced to me, and I've only played it a couple times now, and it instantly became one of my favorite games. So my buddy Dean Rayner, he showed us this one when we were at the cottage a couple weekends ago. He told us about this drinking game, got us to play. It might be the most engaging game that I have ever played. Every single person in the room was on their feet screaming, so hyped. Like it was so much fun, and it's called Horses. So what you do, and I'll try to explain the best I can, is you take the 4 aces out of the deck and you flip them face up. So then they're sitting like four horses, right? Air quotes, horses on the racetrack, side by side by side by side. You take 8 of the cards from the rest of the deck and you put them face down and they go up. So it's like the 4 cards are below, and then
like
it goes
an L kind of.
Yeah. So like an L. Yeah. But they start like below that first card.
Yeah.
So then it goes 8 cards up. So what the person does is they take the deck and there's a caller, and it's so good when the person knows what they're doing. So like Dean is, first of all, he loves the horses. Like he goes to the tracks with his family and stuff. So like he has an actual knowledge of it. Yeah. But the caller actually has to be like, you're at the tracks. So he stands there, and what you do is you every single person in the circle goes around and bets on a suit that they think is going to win. So you bet drinks though. So you bet like 3 drinks that ace of clubs is going to win. But what the catch is that every bet you make, you have to drink your bets. So you bet 3 drinks, you have to take 3 drinks. So then you bet, I'll bet ace of clubs. Dean will sit there and he flips 1 card. Whatever the suit is, that's what ace moves up in the lineup. Every time you reach a new level of those 8 cards that are face down, you flip it over, and whatever suit that is, that suit of ace moves back. So there is up and down the whole time. Like there's no just constantly moving forward. Like cards move back, cards move up. And
so like if I flipped like a 4 of clubs, I'd move it up 4 spots.
No, you just move it up 1. So if he flips a club out of his hand, the club, the ace of clubs moves up 1. But if he reaches a new level and you flip that card over and it's a club, then the club moves back. But like if you flip it over and it's a heart, then the heart moves back. So now the heart's back 2 spaces. So like it gets nuts because there will be like ace of hearts is on the very, very last card, or like 1 card away or something. Yeah. And like you flip a card over and the ace of hearts drops back, and then like another card moves up, and everybody's just going nuts, like screaming like about their cards. And then at the end, like if your card wins, you hand out as many drinks as you want.
Yeah.
Or as you bet. So it's like pretty cool. It's like everyone just gets going. It's like, it sounds more complicated. I feel like that, like I feel I made it more complicated than it really is.
We should make a live
just
video
gets
and you
hype. Like everyone's going
listeners
nuts
how to
about
play.
it.
You should make a live.
Seriously, it's
you should
so
have an Instagram
cool.
live on our channel and like do a little lesson with Philly how to play this game because like that sounds elite.
It's so much fun.
Especially for like small get-togethers too. Like it's just prime, and that does sound engaging. One game that like obviously there's like beer pong and flip cup and all those ones like if you're just timeless.
Stack Cup.
Yeah, Stack Cup's a good one. Have you played Flip Stack?
No.
That's like you get together around like a table and everybody flips. Like it's like Flip Cup, but everybody goes at the same time.
Okay.
And the last person who like flips their cup has to like take their cup and put it on the king's cup in the middle. Like there's a king's cup.
Yeah.
Whatever, and they stack it on top. Like so they flip their cup upside down and try to balance it.
Oh.
And you build the tower in the middle. So every time someone comes last and flipping their cup, they have to add it to the tower, and it gets like crazy high, like as tall as me. And it'll be like 14 cups high.
And you don't want to flex right there. It gets crazy tall, like high as me. Yeah.
And you don't want but you don't want it to flip over, so you obviously don't want to lose. And like it's just better not to have to stack this like precariously stacked thing. And then it falls over, and whoever knocks it over, it's like Jenga, like you lose, and then you have to finish like the death cup in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it's pretty fun. And it's like just jokes, seeing like the thing wobbles, and one person's like on their like on top of the table trying to like reach up there. It's dope. So that's a good one. But in terms of card games, like obviously the Ride the Bus is a must.
Oh, Ride the Bus is great. Yeah.
And there was one I was playing that involved like a pizza box recently.
Oh yeah, you flip a coin and it where it
lands. Yeah.
And
so
then you draw a circle.
One like Pangea, I think they called it. Like I know it's probably got different names for.
I've heard that.
So essentially it's like you each write your name and then circle it wherever on this big pizza box. Obviously, finish your pizza, and then you like flip a coin. If it lands on one of the names, that person drinks, and if it lands in an empty space, you have to like write it a dare or write like something. Like my go-to is always
make a new rule.
You make a new rule. My go-to is always order food and just make it pretty big and just like get somebody to bite on that. But yeah, that's a good one.
There's another one that I played. It was pretty simple. It's called Purple. And I played it with you guys. Like you go around in a circle.
So that one, I was trying to remember that the other day because that was a really fun game when we played.
Okay, so I'll explain it. So what happens is you just have one person has the deck of cards and you just go around in the circle and you either say red, black, or purple. And if you say red, you flip one card. And if it's the card you said, like red, then you can either keep going or pass it on. And then so it's red, black, or purple. The other thing you can say obviously is purple. And purple, what you do is you flip two cards and it has to be one red, one black. So if you get it right, you have the option to keep going and keep stacking the cards or pass it on. But the catch is that if you mess up, so let's say there's like 5 cards on the table and I say black and a red card shows up, I have to take 6 drinks. I have to drink for as many cards that are on the table. Oh. So we've got like hype games going where it gets to like 16 cards and you're like, you get like 3 in a row and you're just like, pass it on. And just screw the person over beside you. And like they mess it up and they've got to drink 16, 17 drinks. Like they're just slamming their drink. Like
friendships are ended in that game, eh?
Going for the throat. Yeah, it's so gutless. But it's so much fun because it's like very simple and fast. Like it moves, right?
Yeah.
Because you just all pick up the cards and just keep going.
That is something to consider. It's like obviously you got to pick your drinking game based on the size of what you're having.
Yeah.
You got to keep people engaged. It's got to be fun. It's got to be easy to teach or easy enough to teach without people getting confused. There are a lot of factors that go into a good card game, but I can confirm that purple kind of fits the criteria for all of them, especially in little get-togethers.
Yeah.
Something I like. We were talking about having a Lollapalooza.
Yes.
We talked about that in our first tenure of the podcast game. Like we talked about that early and often about how we wanted to get a Lads and Lawnchairs party hosted somewhere, call it the Lollapalooza, and have all of our sponsors and partners come out and like have booths or like provide alcohol, drinks, merch, and just have an absolute time. Obviously we stopped doing the podcast for 2 years and it just didn't work out. But because we're back, we've kind of like reimagined Lollapalooza, and I have the perfect new house. As I was ranting about earlier, I'm just so excited with this new property, big backyard. We got a little kiddie pool, and it was kind of funny because like one of the guys in my house was like showing me Brokinis when it first came out, and he's like, dude, this is hilarious. And he's like a bigger guy, like just chiseled dude. And he's like, man, I would look great in this. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll, of course. Like, he's just the kind of guy who would rock a Brokini and just a confident dude. I'm like,
Right.
all right, man, I can see it chilling out there in our backyard during Lollapalooza with our with your Brokini on. Then they got to talking. I'm like, oh, like we should get custom Lads and Lawnchairs Brokinis for a giveaway. You and I were talking about that.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, like, what the hell? Like, let's shoot our shot and message Brokini, because this is when they were blowing up and like they were all over social media, all over everybody. And I'm like, what better time than right now to have Brokini come on the podcast? The two Toronto-based entrepreneurs founded Brokini. The thing took off.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we need to have these guys involved with Lollapalooza somehow. So without further ado, I am so fucking excited to get the Brokini lads on our podcast. Here they are. Lads and ladettes, we are absolutely privileged to be joined by the minds behind one of the most relevant brands in fashion today, the Brokini. Chad Sasko and Taylor Field have set the internet ablaze with this product, and we couldn't be more excited to have them on the show. How's it going, lads? Thanks for joining us.
It's going well. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well, thanks.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah, we're super excited to have you. Tell us about these last couple of weeks you guys have had. Like with all your kind of media attention you guys have been getting, it must have been just a whirlwind of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been really crazy. So the Monday, the 24th, things really blew up. We entered a contact field form on BlogTO, and they picked us up, and then it went from there. And then it was in we were in Barstool Sports that night. We were on Esquire.com, and then I was on the radio the next morning at 7:45 a.m. with all sorts of different radio stations, and it just got out of control. I mean, Chad could speak to what happened to our website. It just couldn't handle the traffic.
Yeah, we got something like 150,000 visitors, which we just weren't expecting, and it couldn't handle it. Orders were being duplicated. There was all kinds of problems, but we cleared out most of our inventory in the first 48 hours. So it was definitely a nice thing to happen.
So how long had you guys been running the company prior to BlogTO picking this up?
We had started it in December of last year, technically. Like, we bought the domain, and we had been reaching out to manufacturers and trying to find, we had this idea. We kind of did the prototyping process. Our manufacturer is located in South Korea, and we sent, samples back and forth and tweaked things about 3 times. And then we were kind of had the website up, took photos once we, had our products in, and just about a month ago, end of July, we had our products in, got our Instagram page up, and then gave it a few weeks of kind of just message, seeing if friends would order anything. And then this BlogTO thing hit.
That's okay. I was just saying we had a couple friends order, but it was a lean couple weeks.
Okay.
To get started there.
And
So
then what were your friends' reactions upon you guys blowing up online? And like what were the friends saying who didn't order anything? Kind of I guess like slap in the face of them, like realizing they missed out on the golden goose.
Yeah. So we have a big WhatsApp friend group, and it was just they were basically just picking out the best comments they could find of people roasting Chad and I. And they found some beauties. There's a lot of clever people out there. Chad and I have pretty thick skin, and there was some really, really clever, funny stuff just ripping us apart. And then, of course, we had a couple friends that did order, who, thank you for their support, by the way. But the guys who didn't, they're now stuck without Brokinis because we're out until new inventory comes in. So they're high and dry, and that's their own fault.
Okay, so I want to ask Chad this question then, because you guys, you said you guys are getting roasted. So first off, want to apologize on behalf of, I guess, Ryan and I for the flack that your name gets just in general, just how it gets labeled on different things. I guess it's kind of similar to the whole concept of a Karen.
Yeah.
But after you guys released this product, which Brokinis, and the whole idea is it's bros, it's product for bros. How is the response been to that? Have you specifically been getting targeted, being Chad and being a Chad and making a product like this?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely plays with the brand, and I've definitely been getting some heat on that. Kind of one of the funny things is Taylor and my mother, both of their names are Karen, and and also Taylor's mother-in-law sold our first prototype, and her name is also Karen. So we've got a lot of Karens and Chads in the company.
Nice. There you go.
Definitely
So it
fits well.
works.
So it does. Yeah, it definitely does work. Take us back to the very beginning. So you said you kind of started in December 19. Kind of walk us through like the product's inception and how you guys came up with the idea behind the concept.
So we're in our early 30s now, but starting in our 20s, we started going on bachelor parties as friends got married, and they started out like relatively tame, normal bachelor parties. We would go to Vegas a lot, but then one person started wearing, like we got Oppo suits. I don't know if you've heard of those. They're sort of like just way more fun suits with funny patterns on them. And then we started wearing Speedos and then just funny costumes all the time. And we went on one of these trips a year at least. And eventually Chad and I got bored of everybody just wearing Speedos because they were boring. So I started scouring the internet and we found wrestling leotards. And we thought that would be a really funny bathing suit to wear, like on Bahamas or at a pool party in Vegas. And what we found out is that we found out the hard way that they go see-through. And that was actually on a beach in Bahamas. We had white flowery like wrestling leotards, and they went just pure see-through.
Nice.
And they were terrible to swim in because they just like ballooned up. They snagged all the water.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
So then we retired those and thought we should try to actually make them because they're really funny. When you're wearing these things around, guys, like everybody's making comments to you, everybody's looking and laughing, and surprisingly, it's a lot of guys being like, "Respect, cool bathing suit." I wish I had the confidence to wear that, and we're just going, just put it on. It doesn't take any confidence. So then we went into development, and Chad found a manufacturer, and like Chad said, my mother-in-law went to Fabricland and sewed up a Brokini, and we sent it away, and Brokinis was born.
That's hilarious. Did Borat have any kind of influence on the design at all?
Not exactly. I mean, obviously Borat's an OG when it comes to wearing awesome bathing suits.
Yeah.
And like he's a goat. Like Brokinis is a lot of fun, but if you can wear the Borat, you can wear anything.
Yeah, yeah.
We wanted to be able to actually wear this everywhere. So
right.
Like around children.
Yeah.
Like kind of my minimum.
So like, I mean, I think you need to be able to draw inspiration from a man with that much confidence, but in terms of the actual shape of the bathing suit,
yeah,
we wanted to be something different. Something that again wasn't see-through, didn't show too much, but showed enough to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, you guys are definitely, you guys are definitely getting some attention, both positive and negative, but I guess as they say, any press is good press. I guess I want to know, I've kind of like been scouring your website and checking things out, and I see that you guys have the profit calculator on the bottom, and it is negative. It is negative. Is there any truth behind that? Is it like is it a marketing scheme? I want to know what kind of made you guys decide you wanted to go public with this information.
We thought it was a funny idea right from the get-go. When we placed our first order, we were about $5,000 in the hole. We spent maybe $1,000 on product development with prototypes, and I paid someone to translate a message for manufacturers and pattern designs and stuff. And then our first run ran us about $4,000. And then we were updating that, as friends' sales came in. And then once the website went crazy, and I was packing orders with my parents in the dining room, I couldn't keep up updating it. So we were positive for a while because we sold out our inventory, but we kind of calculated how many units we were burning through and decided to place another order for 1,500,
right.
Which was quite expensive. So that's roughly accurate. We've had some more sales today, so I need to update it again. But yeah, that's not quite a marketing ploy. I don't know how long it'll last, but people have really liked it.
Well, I can only imagine you guys are going to break even pretty soon, and then once you guys start bringing in the dough, then you might have to hide that from people. Eventually, it's going to have to go down, I think.
If it gets to the point where we have to hide it, then we'll be pretty happy campers.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just making the customers feel bad. So I know, like, I'm kind of been doing some light LinkedIn stalking, and I see that you guys don't, you haven't always been entrepreneurs. You guys have went through business school and kind of had some corporate jobs. Have you guys committed to the Brokini full time? Is this something that you kind of jumped in, and kind of got fully behind, or is this just a side hustle for you?
So for Chad has been for the last 2 weeks, because I mean, again, if we go back, the first 3 weeks that we did this, we built the website over months. We wrote the copy over months. That was just totally a side project. And then once things blew up, uh, I had to take a couple days off work, and Chad went at it full, and that's off my normal job, my job that actually makes money. Uh, Chad is a digital nomad. He had a little bit more flexibility, but definitely put his full time and effort over the last 2 weeks, so, or not quite 2 weeks yet, week and a half into Brokinis. So we're not entirely sure where it's going to go from here, to be honest. It would be a fantastic thing if this could grow, for two reasons. One, it would be a funny job to have to say that I work at Brokinis.
Yeah.
But also, the both of us think it's really, really funny if this ends up being the legacy that we leave on the world. Like, hey kids, Daddy was the inventor of Brokinis.
Yeah, fair enough.
Really funny thing. So we'll
I feel bad. We've had some articles written in like European publications talking about how Brokinis are going to desecrate historic Europe with drunken Brits wearing them, and they're talking about it in like Thai Facebook groups, and I don't know. It's an interesting mark to leave on the world.
So have you guys been selling products globally, or is it mostly just been North America, or like what's that been like?
Yeah,
we've sold to around 14 or 15 countries now. And I think I checked it. We had 150 countries on the website. So basically about a few Central African and some island nations haven't been on yet, but
right.
We hit pretty much everywhere else. And I think we'll maybe have more luck in the future once our shipping's sorted out a little better. We're moving to a fulfillment center in the US, which should make worldwide shipping not as insane as Chad's mom's fulfillment center. So
That's awesome. You guys, I know I've kind of seen, you've actually personally attacked me on well, not attacked, but you guys have replied to me on Instagram on my personal account. And I know that you guys are super active on IG. Do you guys have a social media person working for you, or is that all you two kind of like looking at the comments and mentions and getting back to everybody personally?
We've got a friend who's helping us out a lot. He stepped in to when things went crazy, and he's been doing a majority of it. We'll step in and do what we can, but he's also a really funny guy. So we let him handle quite a bit.
Right on. And then the models too, are those you two?
For the most part, yeah. Like the two main guys that you see, that's Chad and I. Chad's normally in the Bromingo, and I'm normally in the Pineapple. We didn't have any money. My wife wouldn't let me spend any more money, I should say. So we couldn't hire real models. It would have been fantastic to have a wide range of people and body types to model it, but it ended up being that we went to Grand Bend Beach and with a friend who's a photographer, and got our first set of pictures that really allowed us to launch Brokinis, I guess. But yeah, that's us, sadly.
So Taylor, you mentioned that you have a wife, and Chad, I'm not sure what your situation is, but what did your spouse and like her family and stuff say, and even your own parents say when you're like, hey guys, I'm launching the Brokini, like we're going out and launching the Brokini? What was their reactions to it?
Okay. I can run you through that. So my wife has known obviously all along, because she's been there for all the costumes through the bachelor parties. She sort of understands what she got into, and we've been married for 10 years at this point. So she knows who I am. And I would say that she has the patience of an angel and is a very forgiving, wonderful woman. But like her mother-in-law stitched up our prototype.
Yeah.
And my parents, I wouldn't say they're proud. I think that they're surprised that this took off the way it did in the media, for sure. And I actually think I heard my mom say I'm oddly proud, which is, I mean, I guess it's good. I guess they're being as supportive as they can, given that this is something that's just so funny. But I mean, that's the whole thing with this is we started it as a costume to wear at bachelor parties with our friends and thought maybe other people would like this. And it was sort of a joke, but it turns out that lots of other people actually do like it. And so now we're where we are. But I mean, family overall has been pretty supportive. My father-in-law, when he found out, sent me a text and it just said Brokinis, LOL question mark. And I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but I met him. He came to my son's first birthday a couple days later, and everything was good. And then when he left, he just sort of said, "Good luck with the bikini business," and that was the end. So
that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
one of our big catchphrases is "disappoint your parents." I think maybe originally there's maybe some of that, not fully, but you know, I came downstairs. I was visiting my parents in a costume one time, and my dad was like, please don't wear that one. Like the other ones are okay, but you know, this one's too far. Of course I wore it anyways. So that's kind of, they're very supportive now. Obviously they pack half the envelopes for our customers. So they're fully on board, and they've been a huge help over these last couple of weeks.
So how many different like patterns and designs and stuff do you guys have? And then do you have options for like kids to wear them, or is it just an adult thing, or what's the deal there?
So right now we just have 2 patterns. We have the Bro Mango and the Fine Apple.
Right.
But we're rapidly working on some new fantastic patterns. Because we basically, when this all blew up, people were like, I want one of these, I want one of these, I want this pattern. And we were just trying to scramble to deal with the traffic and the orders that we had.
Right.
But there's been so many great ideas from people on social media. So we're gonna try to make those happen as quickly as we can here. And in terms of the kid sizes, I mean, I know that I would love to have one to wear with my son, because we would just kill it on the beach, the 2 of us together.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like a father-son walking around with their brokinis.
Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't rule that out, because I think it's a fantastic idea. And I mean, a man in a bikini turns heads like crazy, but if you add a cute baby to that, it's game over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're also adding an XL size. We got a lot of comments about, I wish could go a little bit bigger, and that's hopefully coming in September.
Pretty cool.
So in a perfect world, guys, in a perfect world, you could get anything you wanted. What would the future of Brokini look like, or what would you want it to look like?
We've always said our first hire would be a golden retriever to act as the receptionist. I don't know. Not sure what the budget is for that, but we have a Facebook posting, a job posting. We actually had a couple applicants, but they weren't in fact golden retrievers, so we had to deny their application. But we've got some other ideas for product. If we keep selling, just expand the line, some other product ideas to bring on. It would be cool to turn it into a full-time job, at least for me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think I got like one more question here before we go. Chad, we saw that you did your undergrad at Western, and then you did your MBA at Laurier. I just graduated from Western a couple months ago. And
Go Mustangs.
Yes, and Ryan is currently in MBA at Laurier.
Not MBA, but maybe one day.
Sorry, at Laurier. Anyways, how would you compare the 2 schools? And if you had to pick one, which one would you pick as like your favorite, and for what reasons?
Chad, you have to be careful here, because I also went to Western, so don't pick wrong.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Man, guys, I was not a good student. I went to Western, but I didn't go to Western. I lived at home. I I didn't go to any of my classes. I picked my courses based on the syllabus that didn't have participation. So I could just go in and write the midterms and the exams. And actually Laurier was pretty similar. So they're both good schools, but I think it just ends up being who you end up hanging out with and who you get along with at the school.
Fair enough. So we'll have to just say Western's better then, I guess.
Yeah, so Western's. In conclusion, Western's better. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
All right, I got one more for you actually. This is a little challenge for you guys. So I've seen on your website that you have a little haiku, right? And I can only assume that you guys are poetry fanatics. So would you be able to give us a haiku of what you would say to all the haters of Brokini?
Oh man, can we go on an honesty streak here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The friend of Chad's who is helping us with social is the one who wrote that haiku.
Really?
Okay.
And he is an absolute integral part of Brokinis, but he's the poetry master. And like Chad said, we're terrible students. So I don't even know what a haiku is in terms of syllables. Is it 5?
It's 575.
Yeah.
We had it wrong.
Known,
we had the syllables wrong for a bit, which we thought was funny, but then a lot of people they weren't getting the joke, so we fixed it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, like, as much as we would love Brokinis to take off and see Brokinis everywhere we go, we think that would be fantastic, and we want to bring some laughter into the world and have fun with that. But we also want to have fun running the business, and like the whole reason behind like the profit counter and all of that stuff on the website is we thought let's just be different than every other company and be honest about where we're at as a company, which we just end up finding funny, of course, because it was so far in the minus and probably will be for a while. But we wanted to have a good time running it. We wanted to make sure we were having a good time. Our brand was just our sense of humor. And so writing a haiku that was actually wrong by accident is dead on for who we are.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it keeps you guys authentic. Like, I love it. I think it's just way more relatable than other clothing businesses out there. But guys, like, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I'm pretty honored that you guys took the time out of your day to chat with us, even though you're covered by Barstool and Esquire and all these big name blogs, and we're just kind of, I don't know, still recording out of my, I guess, dorm, my university house on Brighton Street in Waterloo.
So are you going to go to your next party in a Brokini?
I think we're going to have to order them. Maybe we'll see if we can like talk to you guys after and we'll get some like lads and lawnchairs Brokinis or something.
I mean, maybe we should come to a party in Brokinis with you.
I'm not opposed to it. I like it.
Open invitation. We're gonna
for sure.
We're gonna have the Lollapalooza in my backyard and have definitely Brokinis are mandatory.
Yeah, right. So we'll have to wear Brokinis. Yeah.
I'll try to get permission from my wife.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Okay, perfect. Well, guys, thank you again for taking the time to come on. We really appreciate it. I respect the hustle. I respect the product you guys are putting out there. And I love the honesty you guys are providing. Even just as far as saying like, yo, we didn't even write that haiku. Like, just straight up from the moment you guys came on. We've enjoyed this whole conversation that we got to have with you guys. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for chatting with us. And we wish you nothing but luck with Brokinis. Hopefully it takes off.
Well, thanks
so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was nice to have some actual time to get into it, because normally the interviews that we have been doing were like 3-minute segments, but it's nice to actually dive into it and actually have a conversation with people. So that's great. Wish you guys luck. Can't wait to see you guys at Lollapalooza.
Yes.
Yeah. We will be the ones in Brokinis for sure.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you at Lollapalooza.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers.
Wow. Like, I just wanted to say thanks so much again to Taylor and Chad who came on, the revolutionary minds behind
the Brokini.
Yeah. And it's such a simple idea. Like, it started off of just being kind of a jokes thing that they wore to bachelor parties and just to have a good time with their buddies. And then they just said, like, I don't know, we got to do something more with this. And goes to show that a little like work ethic, like you can make money doing anything. Well, I guess not right now because they're in the hole. Not right now because they're in the hole. But like, it's just so cool to see kind of these guys turn this into their full-time careers. Like that's so dope, man.
Yeah, that is really cool. It was pretty cool to talk to him. It was kind of cool too that the guy, the one guy both of them went to Western, but the one went to Western and Laurier.
Yeah.
Chad went to Western and Laurier. So like, that's kind of cool. A little connection there. But yeah, that was so cool. Like you messaged me like, yeah, like let's shoot our shot with these Brokini guys and see what happens. And then I said, yeah, like let's come on. So they came on, had a chat with us. It's cool just to get to hear about like how it started, why they started it, and like where they're going with it. Wish them
just the whole
luck. Like
the whole relevancy of it as well. Like they blew up 150,000 orders or whatever it was in their first day of being posted. It was the blog TO form. Yeah, I think we should probably fill that. Let's get our odds and launchers on blog TO. Hey, podcast in the GTA. I do that. But that was dope. I mean, and then to follow Jedi guy up with Brokinis, where I think we're back. I think it's safe to say we're back in the mix. We're here to stay. Yeah, we're here for the long haul, and we're not going anywhere with like shitty content. We're not bringing you shitty content. Like it's just not happening.
I think it's kind of cool, like the diversity of guests that we've been able to have on too. You know, like professional athletes, sports,
media personalities,
media personalities,
musicians.
Yeah, like it's been so cool to get to have on and like meet all these people and just to hear what they're doing. Like even listening to Jedi guy and just getting to hear about all of his life experiences and the life lessons that he was able to teach you and I, like sitting there like, damn man, like just the stuff we've got to listen to and we've got to be a part of through this experience has been so cool.
It is, man. It is. And I would have never thought that we would like have these experiences or do like any of the shit we've been doing.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me. Like looking back, like I'm not trying to pump my own tires, but I'm just like, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I think you can say the same thing. It's just like, it's just cool to be like,
it is cool, man.
This shit. But yeah, man, I like Brokini guys. Thanks again for coming on. I hope that they did say near the end of the interview that they would be coming to Lollapalooza. Yeah, I think Chad said he's got to get permission from his wife.
Yeah, Taylor said he's got to get
Taylor's got to get permission from his wife. And then hopefully we can maybe get a Lads and Lawnchairs Brokini collab. I don't know, custom merch for a giveaway. That would be dope. Yeah. And them coming to Lollapalooza, plugging their shit. Hopefully we can get a bunch of Brokinis around Laurier. But that would be so awesome, man, if they could come through.
Yeah. What an interview, though.
Yeah, what an interview. I know who else said they would come to Lollapalooza. We had Mucho TV.
Yeah.
Down to come to Lollapalooza.
Yeah. What a cast of characters you could have out. Holy smokes. Man.
Maybe Tim Hicks live concert.
Never know.
Cirillo opening. I don't know. Maybe a little foreshadowing. But yeah.
Never know.
Billy, I want to talk to you kind of, I guess, Lollapalooza aside. We're all excited about that, but hey, we got to hold our horses here.
Yeah, really.
I wanted to talk to you about shit that like, this is just like, I was walking down the street today and I'm just like, I don't just pop into my mind. Like, is jury duty a real thing? Like, cause like I hear about it all the time and it's really like prevalent in like media and TV shows and like, oh, jury duty, this sucks. And like everybody goes, but it seems like they portray it as a much more common thing than like it is in reality.
Okay, so
listen. So here's where I'm going with this. I want to talk about things that are more common in like media or things you are like taught that aren't as common as you have been led to believe, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got you. So I think the jury duty thing is hilarious because like prior to this summer, I probably would have been on the same page as you. And I would have been able to sit here and be like, yeah, like you're right. Like that shit never happens. But I work with the company I work in. It's a small crew. There's 3 of us like in this thing and then like our owner. So literally like the odds of this happening is so low because only 3 of us. But the one guy is 28 years old. And he says to me the other day, we're driving in the truck and he goes, dude, like last night I got a letter from the government and I got called to jury duty. And I was like, no way. Like, because I had never even thought of this, like you're thinking about it right now. But like when he mentioned it, I was like, damn, like I don't know anybody who's like being called to jury duty, right? Like,
nobody. Maybe I don't know if it's because we're too young or like what it is, but
yeah. So I'm like, no way you've been called to jury duty. And he goes, yeah. And this is the second time.
What?
So this guy has been called to jury duty twice.
That's like kind of similar to when we're like, oh, we don't know any hand models, and then all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, I was a hand model. Cole Hayward was a hand model.
Yeah, and then one of my friends from school is a hand model. Like, what?
So apparently, maybe it's more common than maybe we're just idiots, man. I don't know, but hey, I just don't think. Another thing that, like, on the same kind of like vein as that, of things that like you're led to believe are more common than they actually are.
Yeah.
Stop, dropping, and rolling. Like, how often are you taught to stop, drop, and roll as a kid? How often are you on fire? Like, never. I've never been on fire. Like, why is like teaching kids to stop, drop, and roll as common as it is?
I guess it's just
important to know to put out a fire, but how often are you really on fire?
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, like, I guess if it happens, you got to be prepared to take the necessary steps to handle it.
Like,
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I guess it's like the co-reds and stuff, though. Like, think about how often you do those fire drills and things. Like, you got to just practice them. You got to be prepared.
I guess, bro.
Yeah, but like, have you ever seen somebody on fire doing stop, drop, and roll? Like, I can't even think of a video.
Yeah. So I actually I was on Instagram. This is crazy. I don't even know how I've stumbled across this, but it was a video of like a snowmobile accident. I don't even know if I was on like a meme account or like on somebody's personal IG. Maybe it was like doing some light stalking. I don't know.
Okay.
But regardless, I was just on Instagram on somebody's page, and it was like, maybe if anybody knows his account, because I don't know. I can't remember. But it was this guy who had gotten a snowmobile crash, and his snowmobile caught in fire. And it was like a video of him like the snowmobile going up, and then him like jumping off and stop, dropping, and rolling.
Really?
Yeah. And someone's like, oh, quick thinking. Like, and the comment section was just filled with positivity. And they're like, oh, quick thinking. Like, good job. And the guy handled it like a pro.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because of the training as a kid. Like, I guess it's got to be.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's the only time. That's the only
training.
It's the only time I've ever seen anybody use stop, drop, and roll that effectively, or just in general for that like matter.
Fair enough. That's so interesting though. Like, when you message me and you're like, because we were just trying to figure out like stuff we could talk about, and you just brought up like you just said something about like maybe we talk about jury duty, and then like I had no idea where we were gonna go with it.
Yeah, I gave you no precursor from where I just said my text to you said like, oh, like I have some topics we can get into, and then I'm like, yeah, I've got a few too. Jury duty, and that was it. Like, no idea where it was going, but hey, I think we made it through pretty seamlessly. Maybe the listeners are confused because that kind of like had twists and turns. I don't know if I explained it that my kind of perspective well enough for people to kind of follow.
Yeah, but I think
my thing's just going. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's hype. So yeah, like things that aren't. If you have more, we'd love to hear submissions. Things that like are more common, or like you're taught are more common than they actually are in adulthood.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Okay, McGee. How's the guitar going? Like, how's the guitar playing going?
The guitar playing is it's going.
Is it?
So, not so much recently because not so much, but I'll tell you why.
Dude, December 15th deadline. We're coming up faster than we thought here.
It's faster than we thought. I will have the chain down pat by December 15th. However, these last couple of weeks, as you know, I've been involved in the orientation week.
Yes.
We had our closing ceremonies last night, so orientation week is officially done, or the 2 orientation weeks. And we had I got shouted out again. O-Team gave me a little shout out for our how-to podcast session. They thought we did such a good job, man. Like, all the positive feedback I've gotten from that, like everybody's like, you guys killed it. And I'm like, wow, like, thanks so much. Like, I was just an honor to be a part of Laurier's programming.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
And then to like, they're like, oh my God, did you prepare? What did you do? And I'm like, well, to be honest, I don't even know if I can be saying this right now because like people who hired us are going to be listening. But I'm just like, no. Well, if you want the truth, you can handle the truth. I was like, yeah, we hopped in the dock like 15 minutes before and wrote out some point form notes, similar to how we prepare for podcasts. Honestly,
yeah.
We hopped in the dock and just like put some point form notes in, and we're like, nah, like I'm pretty confident that we have the ability to pull this off.
Yeah,
and we just hopped in and got to talking about our past and the equipment we needed, how we got our start, social media marketing, reaching out to guests, partnerships, just all the ins and outs of doing what we do. And it's a lot more than the average listener would think. Like there's a lot more that goes into this than the average Joe would think. But hey, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, baby.
Yeah, yeah. I heard you say that maybe like 5 or 6 times during that how to. I loved it though. We were honestly both just firing out like the most inspirational like
just
things
just
throughout the whole
cliche,
time.
like
Yeah,
just
it was
don't.
unreal though.
Yeah, no, that was so sick. And people like the chat was active too, man. Like
Yeah, it was. They were buzzing.
the chat was buzzing.
Yeah.
Got some nice messages from people. This guy Eli's got his own podcast. Eli was in the chat, was just like causing up a storm, and just like he was just sending his love or her love. I don't want to assume. But Eli was just like a menace in the chat in the best way possible.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, shout out Eli. Maybe Eli can be the line of the week. I don't know who he or she is, but what a stallion that person is.
Yeah. Okay, McGee. So like thinking about the guitar though, because you're busy right now, you can't do it. Is there anything that you like said to yourself you were gonna do at the start of quarantine that you just didn't end up following through with?
Oh,
was there like anything you were like, oh, yo, this is by the end of the summer, I'm gonna have this done?
It's funny you mentioned that because you know this too. You may have forgotten, but
the backflips.
Yes, bro. Think all the way back. Think all the way back to like I think I
episode 1.
Videos. Yeah, episode 1 of our return though.
Yes.
So I was filming in my cottage, and I'm talking about like I want to learn how to do a backflip, and you're like, holy fuck, guitar backflip! Like you're just an animal right now. Like simmer down, buddy. And I'm like, fuck, I just have big aspirations for quarantine. And I got out there. I got to tell you how it went down is I may have said this on the pod already, but I brought out a bunch of like patio cushions and stuff.
Yeah.
I got an old like mattress, like an old school mattress that like belonged to my brother or sister, and I just threw all this cushiony shit down on my lawn in the backyard. And I was out there for probably like 6 hours trying to build up the courage to like do backflips. And I started out like with crab walk or whatever, and like just started up with little up and overs, doing back rolls. Just started out like how the YouTube tutorials taught me to start out.
Right.
And then it got to the point where I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where I make the transition from rolling to actually jump and roll. I'm like, wow, like I'm close. I feel it. And I just couldn't do it, man. I like jumped once. I did some weird, like, weird, like, contortion thing in the air. Just me being a lanky string bean. Like,
yeah,
I just looked so uncomfortable. And then I just watched the video back. I'm like, wow, that was like the ugliest thing I've ever seen, like, ever. Like, I just looked like shit. Like, I just looked so bad. I'm like, wow, like, maybe I'm just not cut out to do a backflip.
This isn't for me.
Yeah, this isn't for me. So I brought out all my shit. I had my brother's standing in the door shaking his head at me. And I was like, fuck, like,
whoops.
Well, whoops, yeah, my bad. I'm never going to do that again. But then I see guys like, shout out Dare. I haven't talked to Darius in a minute, but I saw a video he posted on his like Snapchat or Instagram. And he's like, oh, this is me learning how to do a backflip. And it just looked like he just did it in his first try. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, come on. Like, damn, go off. I fucking killed it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not for me, though.
No.
Not for me. But good job, Dare. Shout out Dare for being able to do a backflip. It's dope.
Yeah, that is dope.
Like sick, man. It's so cool.
So for me, I was like before I came home, because I was looking on TikTok a bunch before, like at school, and we would just scroll through for hours. I saw all these people making like custom beer pong tables. Ooh. And all I could think about was like, I don't have anything to do when I go home. I'm just gonna be sitting around. So I was just gonna like order some wood from Home Depot, like pick it up or whatever, and then make a custom beer pong table. And then 5 days after I got home, I started working again. So I literally did nothing. I literally didn't do any of the stuff I planned on doing. I was going to redo my whole room, like take everything off, build stuff to go in my room, and like put shelves up and all this stuff.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Literally all I did was just came back, put my desk from school in the corner, like turn the stand, put a TV up, and move the bed to the other side of the room. That's about it. Like, I called it a day.
That's so funny.
But like, I wanted to make these beer pong tables. And then I texted you and I was like, yo, would you be down for a custom beer pong?
I was so confused. I'm like, did I like miss out on some like group chat thing? Like, I didn't know if it was just a thing that was happening. I didn't, because there was no context. Like, would you be down? And I'm like, oh yeah, like absolutely I'd be down. And he sends me an example of what he would do, what Zach would do. It was like this glorious glorious beer pong table. I'm assuming that like, obviously it's gonna be different than the one he sent me because it was not his work, but I got faith. The guy's a handyman. I'm sure the product will be great. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah. So I was thinking though, and I'll have to figure it out and have to work through it. But because this summer I got home and like for the first time ever, I started building like fences and planter boxes and stuff out of wood. So I became pretty like handy with woodwork. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think I can do this. I think I can do it pretty well. So I think that I'm going to start building these like custom beer pong tables and see how it goes. Probably try to sell them, but I was thinking we could maybe fire one out for like a giveaway.
Dude, we need a Lads and Lawnchairs beer pong table. Are you
Yeah.
kidding? That's so cool.
Yeah, like we could do one up for your house, see how it goes, see how it looks, and see
if
how
there's any
it
kinks that need to
functions.
be.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and then work it out, and maybe we start firing out some Lads and Lawnchairs beer pong tables.
Hey Philly, so what I've seen, like there's at one of my friends' houses, they have a custom beer dye table.
Okay.
And it's up to specs of like the official beer dye rules and stuff. And what I would recommend, or what would be a cool touch for the very first ever custom Lads and Launchers beer pong table, is having what they have on their table is a bottle opener screwed into the side of the table.
Oh, done.
So I think that's just a touch you need right in the center line, like on the edge of the table, on the side of it, be a bottle opener. Don't have to go anywhere.
I think that's a great idea, man. But that's kind of where I'm headed. I'm like, you know what? Like I'm just working now, working full time, battling away. Like might as well do some extra stuff on the side, see how it goes. So I think that could benefit me and the Lads and Lawnchairs. So
yeah, and well, dude, think about, because like we've been talking about giveaways.
Yeah,
obviously we don't want to like tell you guys anything before it exists. But I'm going to anyways, because like we're excited about it, and we probably will make it happen. We just wanted to like get it concrete before we announce anything on our socials. But we were talking about the beer pong tables. We were talking about, we have a friend who does custom AF1s. Like maybe we do custom Lads and Launchers AF1 giveaways. That'd be so cool. Yeah. If you can get in contact with Brokini again to do something with them, custom Lads and Launchers Brokinis.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know if these things are like you guys are interested in these things,
man,
because we can definitely go and start working on them and making pushes to go and get stuff. But like, yeah, lots of things on the way.
Yeah,
man. Lots of things on the way. That's for sure.
Yeah. That is super exciting. Man, like big things coming. Like you're hearing them. You're hearing them as they're happening. Like I just can't keep up. Yeah, well, I can't keep up, but I'm just like, I want to get it out there. I want to just spew my word vomit and just like tell you all about all the cool shit we're planning in our heads.
Yeah.
But we'll never know until we know.
You never know. Never know.
You never know. I don't get ahead of myself, but
yeah, big things coming. Big things coming. Well, McGee, dude, I think that about wraps up episode 49.
That one,
Rich Peverly episode. I know it did fly by. We actually were just rolling and literally no notes, no nothing, just off the top of the dome.
I'm literally just like staring into the Zoom screen, like just looking at your face, just hanging out. I got a random Toronto Sun article open. I don't even know what it's about, and almost closed the shit. But yeah, man, we were just firing. This is just a natural talent episode, I'd say.
Yeah, this really displayed our nitty gritty skills. Like this is like bare bones. What can we do? Let's make it work. Like, let's see where we go.
A resilient episode, just like Rich Peverly being resilient, coming back from his cardiac arrest.
Coming back to life. Yeah, honestly. What an episode, Miggy. What an episode. Always a pleasure to chat with you, man.
Dude, it's so awesome to catch up with you every week and just like find out what you've been doing. Because like we don't talk, honestly, other than the podcast shit, like obviously we like keep up to date in the group chats and shit. But like, it's so nice to just have another reason to find out about what you've been up to, cool shit you got going on in your life. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, man.
And with that being said, you know the drill, guys. Like, you know the drill at this point. Big things coming. And if you want to find out what they are and find out what the surprise is for episode 50.
Yeah.
You gotta
That's before we go. There's a reason we haven't announced the lot of the week. We announce the lot of the week every week. We didn't forget this week. Where there's big things coming, like we always say. You'll have to tune in next Monday, episode 50, the big episode 50, to find out what those big things are. There's a reason we haven't announced this week's lot of the week, so stay tuned to find out.
And the only hint I'll say is that it just gives you another reason to keep listening to us. And I think you guys are not going to be disappointed with the surprise. And yeah. Like I'm so excited to get that news out there, and it just makes Lollapalooza that much more possible too. If you really think about it. Yeah. So I'm gonna just let that marinate with you. You can take that any way you want, and the only way to find out is to catch us in episode 50, same time, same place, same launch. Cheers, lads and ladettes.
Cheers.